So going back to like, okay, God was once like us and he became a glorified being and he wants us to be there and he knows how to get there. So he left us as many clues, maps, plans, everything he could possibly think of, right, to help us obtain what he's got. But not because he needs it. Not because it, and that was the key. Not because it changes anything besides the fact that he loves us and it would like be awesome, you know, but he's quote unquote perfectly happy in the sense that he's complete, he is whole. Him and Heavenly Mother are up there and they love what they're doing. And they just want everyone else to experience what they've experienced. And it's like when you try a really good restaurant, I could care less really if somebody goes to that restaurant or not, but it made me happy. So I'm gonna be like, dude, you should totally go. You should totally go try it out. And when they tell you they tried it out, you're like, yeah, it was so good, right? And then you both sit there just being like, I feel like that's how God is, and that took me so long to understand it, that he just wants me to have the opportunity to become like him, and whether I take that or not, 100% my choice, and I think how easy it is to become like him in that, like, not like, it's not easy, right? It takes work, but it's not as impossible as I once believed, right? Where I believed if I saw somebody on the street and like on my mission, for example, we were supposed to contact 10 people a day and I couldn't, it's social, like, and like the social anxiety and just seeing people, and I just like was so nervous and couldn't do it. And I would talk to 5 people and I would just feel like I sucked, you know? And so now Justin would look at old Justin and be like, dude, you're on a mission. You've sacrificed everything. Do you think God is going to be mad because you didn't talk to one person? He doesn't care. Like he's just happy you're there. If you talk to one person, that is fantastic. If you talk to 1 million, that's awesome. But like, he's just trying to help you break out of your comfort zone. He's just trying to push you a little bit, but he's not mad if you don't. And he's still happy because I realize, like, cause I like, what's an ideal relationship? An ideal relationship is 2 independent people are completely comfortable with themselves and come together to make something greater. And up until then, all my relationships were completely codependent, you know, where like my job is to make this person happy. And so I was like, okay, perfect relationship. This is something the therapist taught me, right? So I'm like, okay, so like a healthy relationship is 2 independent people who are happy and then come together. If God's perfect, then that means he's happy. And that was like, he's happy. He doesn't, like, I don't make God happy. Nothing I do is going to change the fact that he's happy. Everything on this earth is just to like help me grow if I want to. But then the fact that I'm allowed to be happy during the growth, in the midst of my mistakes, in the midst of my errors and my imperfections, I can also be independently happy. And that, like, with the exception of murdering someone, and even then, like, I feel like there's certain levels of joy that not even we are allowed to feel, that like we can feel if we understand how to, because of the atonement of Jesus Christ. And so, like, because Jesus Christ suffered for all of the sins of every man and every bad thing that they could ever do, we are allowed to be happy all the time, no matter what. And it's the difference between, like, I'm not going to be like high, like, oh, I like 24/7 420, I'm on marijuana, high, happy, you know, like, no, like, yeah, you're going to be stressed. There's going to be hard times, but that's different from the fact that, like, I'm like content. It's so hard to describe. Like,
I'm trying to think of it myself. Like, you're happy because, you know, God's happy, right? Obviously, but there's a lot of things that his kids do that probably make him sad.
Yeah,
or make him feel
and
sad.
He cries, like the scriptures say. Like he mourns. Yeah,
weeps. And Jesus weeps.
Right, and so I'm like, but he doesn't own it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's probably
because
the
if he was
difference.
healthy, which he is, like,
Yeah.
because I sat down and I listed what would be a perfectly healthy relationship. What would I be if I was 100% healthy? And that's one of the things you don't own what other people feel, which is what I've always done. And so that means God doesn't own how we feel. He doesn't own our actions or decisions. He's disappointed. He's bummed, but it doesn't change the fact that he's in the celestial kingdom with this, like, Heavenly Mother.
Yeah.
Like he has everything that anybody could ever want, and then that's enough for him. And I'm like, oh, maybe that can be enough for me. So interestingly enough, my like journey through, so not a faith crisis, but this crisis of sorts had very little to do with action, but almost everything to do with mindset. And just sitting down and changing the way I chose to believe, like changing the way I chose to see things.